Hey YouTube, what is going on? It is Epic Big Bird. I've got some more Rome 2 Total War Online commentary to do for you today. This battle is a 3v3 battle and this is on large funds. I decided I would bring you guys a 3v3 battle. I see a lot of people usually like these larger battles. I'm gonna have to apologize in ahead for the video quality, guys. My machine isn't exactly top quality. That's why I generally don't play these 3v3 battles because they take so much. I'm not a computer guy, but memory and RAM and those kinds of things. My computer has a hard time handling that. But anyways, this one I managed to get through without that much lag, so I would like to show it to you. In this battle, I have chosen Rome, and I'm going with pretty much my standard Roman build, which is 4 armored legionnaires, backed up by 3 velites with 2 experience chevrons. Behind them, 4 evocati cohort, and then anchoring my army is 3 auxiliary spearmen, and I also have 2 auxiliary cav and my legatus general. On our left flank, we have an Iceni army, which is comprised of mostly Briton slingers and Briton skirmishers, and then chosen swordband and chosen spearband on his left flank, with a lot of veteran riders. And then on my right flank, I have a Carthage build with a lot of Carthaginian cav. I see 6 Carthaginian cav with also 6 peltists and a bunch of Libyan infantry and spears. Pretty formidable army. And now let's take a look at our opponents here. I have squared off against Egypt, Iceni against Pontus, and Carthage against Sparta. Initially, I was worried about the engagement between Pontus and the Iceni. If Iceni didn't finesse his moves properly, he would straight up die on a head-on frontal charge against Pontic pikes, which is what I was worried about. Me and Carthage were working quite closely together, communicating as the battle starts, talking game plans, and Iceni was somewhat less responsive. He had agreed to our battle plan, but we weren't sure as to how well he would enact that battle plan. So I managed to talk Carthage into shifting left here. You can see Sparta kind of shifted his cav way out to the right and is trying to flank with this huge blob of peltists. And this is what I had wanted. I said, look, Carthage, let's shift left. We can support Iceni in the engagement with Egypt and Pontus, and we will force Sparta to stay out of the fight. He will have to march his Spartans, which are slow-moving units, and perhaps it will provide us with an opening to strike at these slingers or skirmishers. And look at, sure enough, we do get that advantage. And look at Carthage pouncing at this opportunity. He's mobilizing his hoplites to intercept these citizen cav, and his Carthaginian cav is going straight for these archers. You can see here these citizen cav are trying to react, but he's going to split off these Carthaginian cav. It's going to create a perfect screen for that. This is so well done by Carthage. The way that we pulled Sparta out of position, and then just we're going to mop up all of these archers in one swift move. That's pretty crucial and decisive right in the beginning of the battle. You can see here Egypt gets a hold of some of my auxiliary cav. He gets about 10 horses there. I was pretty upset about that, but nothing I can really do about it. But I am forming up my legions in more of an aggressive stance. I'm making it so I'm threatening to both Pontus and Egypt. I want them to think about my legions. I want them both to think about my legions at the same time. Put a little bit more pressure on both. Take a look at Carthage's progress over here. You can see they are, as I said, absolutely slaying these Spartan horsemen and slingers. You can see he's got his elephants in here, and let's see just how many kills they're at right now. Only 7 kills, but we'll keep an eye on them. But you can see his cav are they're easily or he's probably has a couple units that are in 100 kills already, which is pretty impressive. So Carthage definitely pulling his weight in this battle so far. Let's take a look at how Icini's done against Pontus' pikes, and as you can see, he's pretty much gone for a straight up frontal charge to the levy pikemen. After post 1.9 patch, after patch 9, sorry guys, you definitely don't want to be taking these pikemen head on in any circumstance. They have incredible holding power and will pretty much hold against anything. Elephants, scythes, chariots, pikes will stop it all if it's head on. So definitely do not do this, what our Icini ally did. You can see he got smarter and went around the flanks with his cav, but he's gotten them into a horrendous blob. In a winnable engagement though with noble bloods and Pontic swords, but these scythe chariots are what he should be worried about, and it looks like Pontus is coming to reinforce. Let's take a look at the middle. You can see here I've postured in front of Egypt hoping to pull some of his pikes out of formation. Tactic that I would recommend trying to do, if you can get your opponent to break up their own phalanx, then it makes it incredibly easy to win or to defeat their pikes. You can see that's exactly what I'm going to do. Pull this thorax pikeman out of formation and then charge it from another angle with these Evocati. Unfortunately, I am forced into a head-on charge there. However, these thorax pikes were not set and braced for that charge, so you can see I got a good 10 men on that charge, and my Evocati have now penetrated. You can see there the thorax pikes get their sarissas down and are getting distance, so I'm going to reinforce with my front line of armored legionnaires, and you can see that's causing Egypt to shift. And if we take a look at Macedon or Sparta real quick, you can see Carthage has done a great job of disrupting him and crippling him. He has basically no cav and no slingers left, and a bunch of slow royal Spartans, which are still going to be out of this fight for another good 5 minutes, which gives us plenty of time to kill more of his allies. You can see Carthage is slowly beginning to wrap up Egypt's flank while I hold him in place. Here, let's take a look at Pontus' scythe chariots here, though. You can see they're already silver chevron stars, and they're in the backs of my legionnaires. This is a big problem for me right now, and I wasn't even sure how he managed to sneak these scythe chariots behind me. But they are absolutely just running down my armored legionnaires right now like madmen. To counter this, I'm going to focus fire them with my javelins. Not exactly sure how 100% effective this is, but it's really the only thing I have to try and deal with them. Try and pinning these chariots down is another good tactic. Really, you have to stop them from moving, because that's while they're dangerous. But as far as these Egypt's engagement goes, it's looking alright right now. It's kind of up in the air. The most dangerous thing are these scythe chariots right now. Whenever they come into proximity of my army, I need to be aware of them and need to be focus firing them. Now, over here, I decide to engage with my Evocati, apparently. I'm not sure if I was noticing this. But right here, I'm going to step forward with my other two Evocati cohort. I'm going to secure this flank, effectively cut off Egypt from his remaining ally. You can see Sparta's still marching his way up towards the fight. The Citizen Cav and Royal Spartans are engaged with these Libyan hoplites. Probably not a good engagement for them, but hopefully they'll kill some more of those Cav. And over here you can see we are finally getting routes in the center. Egypt is breaking against the legions. Not without a good fight, though. I will hand it to him. But let's take a look at my Cav and how I'm positioned here. You can see my auxiliary Cav are kind of almost just waiting for these levy pikes to break. My allies have been focus firing them to try and break them. You can see here we get a nice hole to go at these archers. Carthage attempts to make a move for those slingers. It was a little premature. You can see he gets caught up on the remainder of those levy pikes. I'm going to take that advantage to try and pull these levy pikes further out of formation. You can see there I stepped forward very aggressively, trying to pull that levy pike forward. You can see that worked. He's going to try and charge my Evocati cohort now. I'm going to take that engagement since I have a close Evocati cohort in proximity. You can see there that Levy Pikeman's not going to stand up against an Evocati cohort. And what we are going to see here soon, there, oh, I'm sorry guys, maybe not yet. But you can see there just now Sparta's getting his Heroes of Sparta into the fight. Too little too late, if I do say so myself. But there you can see my auxiliary cav beginning to move to respond to his shifting horses and his now almost routing Levy Pikes. I'm going to get these auxiliary cav into these peltists right for the picking, and he's going to have a heyday. Let's take a look at these African war elephants of my ally. He is at 239 kills with these African war elephants, and they are still racking up the kills, getting into the backs of these Spartan heroes. That cannot be fun for them. You can see there my auxiliary cav at work, getting into these ripe peltists, just chewing them up. We must have missed those chariots. But you can see here we've pretty much wrapped up the center now, and we're pretty much just tying off our loose ends. Sorry about that, guys. I've been sick lately. Here I get my general involved with some mercenary Scythian archers, horse archers, excuse me. Managed to tie them up, kill them off, and then get some more of these skirmisher units tied up with my general. It's a good engagement for my general to be in. Not going to complain about it. And like I said, at this point in the battle, I'm more focused on making sure Pontus doesn't do anything sneaky, although I don't believe it's possible for him really at this point. He's got Levy Pikes and some Pontic swordsmen. Really no match for my legionnaires. And you can see I have shifted some of my legions over to the right flank to help deal with the remaining Spartan hoplites who have just now arrived to the battle. But you can see that it is a little too late. This battle is getting wrapped up, and that is gonna pretty much do it. So what I would like to talk about these 3v3 battles, it's a lot harder to talk about micro skills in particular when you come into these 3v3 battles. I find that you're gonna do well most of the time if you work well with your teammates and you collaborate together and you support each other. Me and Carthage were working pretty close together, talking very closely. We were acknowledging each other's strengths and weaknesses, and ultimately it was that cooperation that led to the cohesive break in Sparta's movements that allowed for Carthage to strike at those ripe skirmishers. My stats, nothing too surprising here. You can see my auxiliary cav and my legatus do very well due to the skirmishers that they got into the backs of. My velites honestly didn't do as well as I'd hoped. For the money I spent on them, they didn't do as much damage as I would have liked. My armored legionnaires, however, did do most of my killing, it looks like. My Evocati actually slacked again too. So, and I would guess that's mostly from the scythed chariots. Now let's take a look at first my allies. You can see here his African war elephants get almost 300 kills. His Carthaginian cav almost 250, almost 250. All of them almost in triple digit numbers. Very, very impressive. Now again, that's mostly skirmishers, but still very decisive element in the battle. And you can see here he led our team in kills, with me coming in second. And I just want to note one more thing on Pontus here. Taker 17 brought 2 scythed chariots, and one of them got 9 kills shy of 600 kills, people. These chariots are deadly. Beware of them when you see them. I'm still working on tactics to take them down, but as far as my theories go, I believe heavy javelins, so good strong javelins will be effective, and maybe bowmen. But my guess is javelins. Don't get your cav tied up with an engagement unless they're stationary, and don't get your infantry tied up unless you can get them stationary. Alright guys, this has been Epic Big Bird. I really hope you enjoy this 3v3. Sorry if it's a little long. I hope you please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback for my videos. This has been Epic Big Bird, signing off.